All right, Eliza writes a number. The number is between 20 and 30. It has exactly 4 factors. One of the factors is 7. What is Eliza's number? 21, 26, 28, or 35? Enter your answer. Okay, let's check your answer. When I did this, I realized, okay, the number is between 20 and 30. So I know that D is not one of its options. Then I thought looking for the factors, 4 factors would be more time consuming than figuring out what factors would be 7. Right? So one of the factors is 7. So if I count out 7, 7, 14, 21, 28, and I could stop there, then I know that 26 is not one of my answers. So now I just have to find, so I did this. Now I just have, it has exactly 4 factors. So I'm going to do a factor rainbow. So I have 1 and 21. It's not even, so 2 doesn't go in. I know that 3 and 7, 3 times 7 equals 21. And then 4, 5, and 6 do not go into 21. And I've already reached 7. So now I know that this only has 4 factors, and this is most likely my answer. Although I do like to often double check things. So I'm just gonna double check myself. And I realize that that one has 28 has at least 6 factors. So it cannot be one of our answers. All right, so hopefully you got that correct. The next question says, a teacher measures how far some students in his class can jump. His data are shown in the line plot. So they said distance is feet. So these numbers represent distance, right? And then the x's represent the students. So how many students jump less than 4 feet? Go ahead and answer. All right, let's double check our work. So if it had said 4 and less, or 4 or less feet, we would include 4, but it just says less than 4. So anything less than 4, we're going to count. So our answer is 3. All right, let's find another question. Sorry, it takes me a second to get my pen working. Okay, this is probably going to be the hardest question of the day. So Jared sold 294 packages of popcorn for Boy Scouts. Matthew sold 3 times as many as Jared. Gary sold 345 fewer than Matthew. How many packages of popcorn did Gary sell? This is a multi-step problem. So make sure you're doing more than one step. Go ahead and submit your answer. All right, so I like tape diagrams because they help me understand information. So we have 3 gentlemen that we need to find, and maybe I should have made them different colors. We have 3 gentlemen that we have to find information about to get to our answer. Luckily, Jared is the easiest, and we know that he has 294 packages of popcorn. We know that Matthew sold 3 times as many as Jared. So I know that I need 3 times as many. So each one of these is 294. And then it says that Gary sold 345 fewer. So he's got less. I'm not sure where, but like definitely less than Matthew. Since it says fewer. So to get that, I realized the button and have to subtract. All right, but first, before I can subtract from Matthew, I have to figure out how much Matthew had. So 294, and I'm going to do 294 times 3. So instead of adding 294 3 times, so I'm going to do 200 plus 90 plus 4. Like pushing all my plus signs out. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 more zeros. So this is 882 when added together. And then Gary has 345 less. So when I say subtract, I might want to be more specific. Subtract 345. So I have 882 minus 345. I do have to borrow. And then make that yellow. Because 5 is more than 2. So 12 minus 5. 8 minus 3. Okay, so I got 437 packages of popcorn. I did that right? And I could check if I was right, like 7 plus 5 is 12, 3 plus 4 is 7, and 4 plus 3 is 8, if I work back. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. It says select the boxes to show whether each fraction is less than, equal to, or greater than 3/4. The way that I would do this, to be honest, because all these numbers are kind of small, is I think I would ask myself, like, what if I doubled like 3/4? I would get 6/8. So this is going to be one equal to it. And then I would say, like, what's 3/4 if I triple it? Like, or I shouldn't say triple it because I'm not getting more. If I divided it into 3, like each piece into 3 pieces, right? I'm multiplying it by 1 in disguise. The first one I did 2/2, and I would divide it. That would mean I'm like, if I had 3/4, if I multiply it by somehow, it would be like 2 of them. Okay, so back to doing 3/4, back over here. So 3/4 times 3/3 is 9/12. So I've already given myself the answer for 9/12 is equal to 3/4. And I know 6/8 is not equal. The numerator is the same, so I have the same number of pieces, but 6/8 is going to have bigger pieces. So if 6/8 is equal to 3/4, then that means this one is less because the denominator, it's like sharing with more people. Like I want to share with 8 people rather than with 10 people. And then 4/5, we could use our butterfly method. We do know that it's not equal, but if I wanted to use my butterfly method, I could do 16 and 15, and this tells me that 3/4 is less than it, so that means 4/5 is more, so we're going to say it's greater. All right, and then let's clear this out. Okay, next one says, what is 382,938 rounded to the nearest 10,000? So this is our 10,000. Something I think that might be helpful. So I'm hoping you like review your answer. So I feel like, let me erase my comma. I know everything after my place value is going to be zeros. So that's why I boxed it in. Then, so I wish I would have done this differently. Let's try it this way, sorry. Okay, so I'm boxing this in, and I know that I'm going to have 4 zeros, right? I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Then my 8 depends on the first number in that box, right? And it's a 2. So if it's 5 or less, let it rest. Let it rest means let 8 be. and everything before it stays the same. Now, if it was 5 or above, we would give it a shove, and we would make this this 9. But since that was a 2, we're going to go with 380,000. All right, a pattern is shown. What is the next number in the pattern? So enter your answer. Do you think it's 12, 13, 15, or 16? All right, and then now I'm going to look at it. So I'm looking at this pattern, and I just look, what do I see is the difference? I see that they placed 2 there. Then in my mind, I look at the next set and I say, what's different? And I see we have 3. So we went from, they added 2, now they added 3. And then when I look at the next pattern, I see that they changed it where they added 4. So in my mind, they're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the next pattern. If you need to draw it out, it's always helpful. But if they did 5, then I would have 5 plus 4, which is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So my answer is 15. All right, now the next one, it says angle ABC is made up of 3 smaller angles as shown. The measure of angle ABC is 140. What is the measure in degrees of angle DBE? Enter the number in the box. So go ahead and answer. All right, so the measure, they said, of ABC is made up of smaller angles. The measure of angle ABC is 140. So I always take my angle and find A, B, C, right? I found each part of that. So that's ABC. They're saying this whole thing is 140, but we have 45 and 25 that need to come out of that, right? So we're going to subtract these because if we added these 3 angles together, we would get 140. But we don't know this question mark place. So we are going to go ahead and subtract the other 2 angles and see what is left to give to that angle. So if you could do it one of 2 ways. We could add 45 plus 25 and then subtract it. So 5 plus 5 is 10, carry my 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 70, so I could subtract 70. 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't subtract 4, so I would have to borrow, but I could just leave it at 14 minus 7, but I borrowed and brought it over. So I have 14 minus 7 is 7. So my missing angle is 70, and I don't have to write this little symbol because they have degrees written out for me. All right, the next one says 4 numbers in a number pattern are shown in the table. The pattern continues in the same way. Complete the table to show the missing numbers in the number pattern. So in this pattern, after you've answered the question, I look for 2 numbers next to each other because they're going to give me the biggest hint. And to me, I think it's easiest to... So I know the numbers are going to get bigger as they go this way, right? These are bigger, over here is smaller. So I need to find the difference between 165 and 180. So I could count by 5s. I could go 165. So if I add another 5, that's 170. And then to me, it's actually easier to count by 10 at this point. And that would get me from 170 to 180. So I see a 15. The difference is 15. And then I'm going to check that. So if I have 180, and so I know my numbers are getting bigger. So if I have 180 and I add 15, so 180, I'm going to write at the top of my screen, plus 15, I get 195, and I can check my pattern. So then if I have 195 and I add another 15, am I going to get 210? That'll tell me if I'm right. If I don't get that number, then I need to start over. But I have 9 plus 1 is 10, plus another one is 11. And so I got 210. So that's so far so good. And then I have to keep going. 210 plus 15, 15 is 225. And then I'm going to write in blue now because I'm getting a little messy. 225 plus 15, 2, 3, 4, 240. And then again, if I wanted to check myself, I could add another 15 and I would get 255. So there you go. All right, the next one says an expression is shown. 2 100ths plus 3 tenths. What is the value of the expression? Is it 5 tenths, 32 hundredths, 5 and 110 hundredths, 6 1,000ths? All right, so we know when we add, our denominator has to be the same. If our denominators have to be the same, it's easier to take the smaller number and have it multiply up to the bigger number, especially when you have tens and hundreds. So if I have 2 100ths, to make 3 tenths, to make the denominator of 10 into 100, right, I can multiply by 10 tenths. So 3 times 10 gives me 30. 10 times 10 gives me 100. And then if I add them together, I get 32 hundredths. The next question, it says an equation with a missing value is shown. 4/5 times 3 equals 12 times something. So for me, it's easiest to look at these in pieces. So if I do 4/5 times 3 and I solve it, to me, so my denominator stays the same. I have 12/5. And they're saying basically 12/5 equals 12 times something. And so I know that I need something times 12 to equal 12. So I know my numerator is going to be 1 and my denominator is going to stay the same. So I'm going to do 1/5. So the way to enter this when you're doing testing is you're going to actually use this symbol on the bottom and you would click it and then you would type in like your 1/5. We'll do one more. All right, this says a rectangle shaped table is shown. So we have 44 inches, 88 inches. What is the perimeter of the table in inches? Enter the number in the box. To find the perimeter, so if you remember song area, it's the space inside for a rectangle, the length and width and multiplied. And perimeter, it's the distance around a shape. Just add the sides together and then you'll be great. All right, so our perimeter is the sides. So we have side, 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 right? Perimeter equals side plus side plus side plus side for this one, since we have 4 sides. All right, so we have to add all our sides together. Well, if this side is 88 inches, that means this side is 88 inches. And if this side is 44 inches, that means this side is 44 inches. So we just have to add them, all of those together. So 44 plus 44 equals 88. So I did two sides. Now I need 88 plus 88 plus 88. So I know 3 times 8 is 24, or 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. And if this was 24, then this is 24, 25, 26. So we have 264 inches. We'll do one more because I think it'll be pretty quick. So it says, which symbol belongs in the box to make a true comparison? Use less than, equal than, or greater than. Write your answer in the box. So we have 2,000 plus 300 plus 10 plus 5 versus 3,000 plus 200 plus 30 plus 7. All right, so I'm going to check my biggest numbers, or my numbers with the most digit, and double check that they have the same number of digits in them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to compare those two numbers. When I compare those two numbers, I see that the 3 has the most value. So it honestly doesn't matter what's over here in expanded form, because the larger digit is what's going to give us the most. So I'm going to put my greater or less than symbol in there. Remember, if you can't remember which way it goes, the smaller number gets only 1 dot and the larger number gets 2 dots. And then you just connect the dots.